Why be alone in a video where there could be multiple versions of you? In today's lesson, we're going to see how we can clone ourselves into one video. That way you can have multiple personalities in your video and it's going to look really fun. So let's jump into Filmora and see how we can get this effect. So there are a couple of things that we need to keep in mind when we're filming videos for the clone effect. The first thing is the tripod. You're going to need a steady tripod, something that won't shake around or fall halfway. And make sure that it's a tripod that can hold the weight of your camera. That's really important. Otherwise, it's just going to fall halfway and you may damage your camera. So that's the first thing you need to have, a tripod. Put your camera or phone on top and we're going to have our camera set in front of our location that we're going to film. For me, that's a couch. I have a couch right here and I will basically have myself, clone A and clone B in the shot. So I need to place the camera in a way that I can get all three and that I get the entire couch in the video. You could of course choose a wall, separate chairs, or any other thing that you want. One thing to keep in mind about your location is that you want to make sure that everything looks the same throughout the entire frame and nothing is changing. So the couch right here and the curtain, they're not going to change as I'm filming. But let's say if I was in a forest, well, the leaves are going to move because of the wind. There may be a bird that's going to show up. Because when we mask out these videos, we want to make it look as if the clones are indeed in the main video. So we don't want them to look different, we want them to look the same. So choose a background that's the same. The easiest one would be a wall, but I'm just going to use a couch. So have your camera on your tripod, place it in front of the couch in a way that there's enough space for the other two clones. You can of course go with one clone or more than one clone. Just make sure that there's enough empty room for that space. And the camera is going to be in one spot from start to finish. It's not going to move and we won't be changing the position of the tripod either. Another thing to keep in mind is the mode of your camera. You want to make sure that it's not on an auto mode. You don't want these settings to change as you're filming. So make sure you set the settings and have it on manual at all times. The reason for that is because when you're moving around to change your clothing for your clone shots, the camera will detect the movement and will assume that you're changing the frame. So it may change the ISO and all the other settings automatically, which is what we don't want in this case. So switch the mode to manual, set the settings, and just leave it be on one side. If you're on your phone, you also want to check to see if there's any auto settings turned on. So make sure you turn all of those off, and most phones have a manual setting. So just shoot in manual whether you're on camera or on your phone. Once you're done, just put it in that location and we can get started with the filming. So the first shot is going to be referred to as the base shot. This is the video where the clones are going to go on top. So in the base shot, you want to stand in the middle if you want two clones on either side. If you want only one clone, you can just stand on one side. So for my example, I have this couch. I'm going to be sitting in the center, doing some sort of movement. And I also want to make sure that I don't put my arms in the empty spaces that I kept for my clones. I'm just going to keep my hands to myself and just sit, maybe read a book, pretend to be on my phone or any other activity that you want. And we're going to just sit there and film this for around almost 30 seconds, it could be less. And then after sitting down, we're going to get up and change our outfits into the first clone. So it really helps if you change your appearance, it will look a lot cooler. But if you want, you can make it look as if you're all identical clones, so you don't need to change your outfit. So I have some outfits that I'm going to change into, as well as some accessories that's going to make these clones look different from the main subject, which is me. So for one character, one clone, I have a red sweater and I'm going to give it glasses. The other clone is going to have a white sweater and it's going to read a book. So you can change the outfits of your clones or just stay with one outfit. Now once you're ready to show your clone, you've sat here for 30 seconds in your main outfit in the center of your shot. You're going to change into the outfit for clone A, and then clone A is going to sit on one corner of this couch, do some sort of activity, and then after like 10 seconds or so, the timing depends on you, you're going to get up, change into your other outfit, and then you're going to sit on the other side of this couch doing another activity. You could make this more interactive, maybe pretend like you're talking to your clones. So in the video, you were just looking to your right or left and just make it look as if the clones are talking to one another. So we're just going to get the shots, remember, in one video and that your camera is on manual. And once you have your footage ready, we can now jump into Filmora and put them all together. I'm also going to show you what the footage looks like through the camera so you know exactly what type of video you need. Import your video right here and drag it onto your timeline. In the first video, I'm just sitting in the center, leaving space for my clones. And I'm just going to snap my fingers to reveal the first clone and then give a reaction, then snap my fingers for the second clone. And then it cuts to me just sitting on the right corner. I'm gonna give a reaction and then it cuts to the other me sitting on the other side of the couch. So these are the videos we need. As you saw, the frame did not change, the couch is still the same. So it's really important to not move your camera throughout the whole process. And because my mode was on manual, the lighting did not change. Now let's go ahead and split the video on times where we change our clothing. So right over here, this is our first cut. And go back and just define the parts of our clone. So we're going to need exactly 3 videos. We have video 1, video 2, and video 3. Now let's go to our first video and find out where the first clone needs to show up. So right when I snap my fingers, the first clone needs to show up. So drag the video of your first clone and bring it right on top. Now we need to mask out this area so that we can reveal our base video. Double click on the top video, head over to mask, and we're going to get this rectangular mask. Click it once and you're going to get this box which you can easily drag to the side. Drag the bottom or the top box right here to extend the height, and use the boxes on the right and left to work with the width. So we're going to need something like this. Make sure that the box is big enough so that the clone does not move out of it. Now let's comb through and find where our third video needs to appear. So right over here, I snapped my fingers. This is where the third video needs to show up. Drag it right on top, and we're going to do the same thing. Once you're finished, hit OK, and now we have 3 videos playing at the same time, right over here. But the problem is that the edges are a bit too rough and it looks unrealistic, so we just need to soften out the edges in order to make this more realistic. Go on your first video, double click, head over to mask, and then scroll down to the section where you can add to the blur strength. As we drag the slider to the right, you can see that the edge right here is becoming a lot more soft and it's blending in with the background. Do the same thing with the other video. This is optional, but you could add an effect at the beginning of these clone videos to make them look more creative. So just head over to transitions, and I'm just going to search for smoke, but you could go for fire or any other element that you're happy with. Drag it directly onto your video at the beginning. I will do the same thing for the second clone video, and we are done. Now you're able to put different versions of yourself in one video. Now let's work together and create the same style.